The Stephie Smalls Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at underdogfantasy.com, promo code SMALLS to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Tune into the SGPN NFL Draft Show live watch party for the entire round one of the NFL Draft, featuring all your favorite hosts and fans from SGPN. Tune in Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. That's youtube.com/sports gambling podcast.
Are you ready?
Happy NFL Draft Week, everyone. Very excited to be, episode 15 now of the Stephie Smalls Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. First up on this show is obviously Jason Gold. This is our favorite week. We thrive when it comes to the NFL Draft, and then I'm going to have, some WWE in general chaos. I don't know. Russell Wilson thinks he's an Italian. Have to have Nicky the Good on. But first, without further ado, Jason Gold is on to talk NFL Draft with me. It's our favorite week. One of our favorite weeks of the sports year. How's it going?
I'm so excited to talk NFL Draft right now, honestly. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right, cool. Yeah, this is our favorite week of the year. I can't wait to talk about all this NFL Draft stuff. So exciting, so much news. And I'll just preface this with this. Don't believe everything you hear out there right now. And on top of that, if you think that this is going to be a normal draft where 1 through 8 is already set, you are, I think, sorely mistaken.
Yes. I think we are going to be getting a lot of trades. And I think that's where you see like the exact number drafted at those markets. I've been kind of scared. Like I've been kind of staying away from it because I think a lot can happen and there's going to be a lot of changes that occur as we go on the first round.
I mean, I think you could see definitely some trades, especially later, like 20s with all the quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised to see some teams come up a little bit to target their guys just because it's going to be cheap because there's no quarterbacks involved there. So we'll see. I have a mock draft here that has trades in it. I have one that I'm working on that's kind of been my running mock draft that doesn't have trades in it.
Okay.
So we'll see. I haven't really been using those in terms of trying to target prices. But it could get spicy. I think this is going to be a small special here. This is going to be full chaos all the time on Thursday. So you'll be pretty excited. Yeah.
I'm so excited. I hope something happens as early as 2, but I don't think it will. I think the beginning of the draft is pretty set. I was listening to Schrager on Art's podcast, and I think there's like some talk of maybe the Browns taking calls to move. I just don't really see that happening. I think they stay where they are, and I think the first 3 picks probably go as planned for now.
Yeah, I think the draft starts at 4. I think that 1, 2, and 3 is pretty set. I feel 100% confident about Ward at 1. I feel 100% confident about Hunter at 2. 3, there keeps being these Sanders reports out there. I don't believe it. You would know the Giants better than I do, but I'm pretty sure that they're taking Carter at 3, and all of the Sanders and other quarterback talk is about a trade later in the first round if they want to come up and get someone. So I'd say I'm 98% confident that Carter's 3. And then 4 is when we could go completely rogue. And that's kind of what I'm betting on right now.
Yeah. What do you think the most rogue scenario could be as far as 4 goes? I've bet 5. I've bet Genty to go at 5. I could see someone try to jump the Raiders to get Genty. I don't think that that's completely off the table here.
So I'll start at 4. I think the most likely pick still is Will Campbell. But I think that the only other pick that this could be is Jalen Walker from Georgia.
Okay.
There are prices out there that are 22-1 on him to be the 4th pick. I think it's down realistically to those 2 guys. I'd handicap it at probably 80% Campbell, 20% Walker. So, yeah, that's pretty good odds if you can get it at 22-1, even down to like 15-1 for Carter to be the 4th pick, for Jalen Walker to be the 4th pick. I think that there's a realistic scenario in which he is the 4th pick. Albert Burr's been beating this drum for 2-3 weeks, that he's a guy that would fit in perfectly with their team. Such a Vrabel guy, such a locker room presence, really would speak a lot to what Vrabel values in a football player. and I could totally see them doing that at 4, surprising everybody. There's a lot of people that think that he's just a smaller version of Abdul Carter, a guy who the Patriots obviously clearly coveted. So if they believe that in the building, and he's obviously a great leader, everyone talks like he's the most amazing human being. I could see that totally being the pick at 4, and then that starts a wild domino effect for the rest of the top 10.
Yeah, 100%. And then 5, like going off of that, do you think anything crazy occurs there? Even if, say, 4 is Campbell and it goes as planned, what happens at 5?
Yeah, so 5 is another interesting changing spot here. So let's say Campbell goes 4. I think that there's a good chance that Jalen Walker goes 5. I believe that Jalen Walker is going to be a top 6 or 7 pick in this draft. So the under 8.5 is like -300, -330 if you can find it. I love that. I don't think there's any way he gets past Carolina. I would be willing to lay the juice on that. But I think there's a chance that he could go 5. I think that if Jalen Walker goes 4, I think there's a chance that Will Campbell goes 5. Mason Graham, maybe. I bet the over 5.5 a lot on Mason Graham. I do not believe he's going to be the pick at 5. I could see Genty. I could see Tet McMillan. I could see the trade out. Like, honestly, the Bears and the Jaguars trading 5 and 10 makes a lot of sense. Jaguars can pick up a second-round pick there, and the Bears can take Genty at 5. So I'm kind of honestly at this point staying away from the number 5 market because there's too much noise and too many names. And the only thing that I feel confident about there is taking the over 5.5 on Graham, because I do not think that he's going to be the pick despite being the favorite this entire time. I think it'll be in a different direction than that.
Yeah, and I think with the Raiders, all we've heard since the beginning is that it's Ashton Genty. And it's just like, this seems like it's setting up for the perfect scenario where it's not Ashton Genty. So where is the value there? Like, do they go, if Mason Graham is there, is that the pick?
Yeah, so I don't believe that Genty's going to be the pick. I've bet a lot on ProfitX that Genty will not be the pick for the Raiders there. He could, in some scenario, I guess, go 4, but 5 seems realistic. I don't think that Spytek's going to come in and Pete Carroll's going to come in and their first pick is going to be a running back. This team cannot afford a luxury pick like that. I know that he had Marshawn Lynch in Seattle. I understand it. I do not think that they're going to take a running back with their first pick here. I think it could be
so obsessed with, like, I get that there is history and there's something I'm going to give out that has to do with that too, but like, you got to get over it at some times too. Like, you can't bet everything off of the basis of what occurred with one coach for years of their career.
So if we go back and look at Spytek and kind of what he's all about, there are a couple picks that make sense here. Jalen Walker, again, if he's there, makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
He came from Tampa Bay. If they believe, I'm not saying that I believe this, but if they believe that Tet McMillan is a Mike Evans type of player, I could see them going there at 6. Brennan Carroll, who's Pete Carroll's son, who's on the staff, worked with Tet McMillan at Arizona. He coached him. So there's an obvious connection there. They need offensive line help. And I have to believe that coming in and building the trenches is a major priority for them. So Armand Membo makes a ton of sense there. I guess in theory, so does Kelvin Banks, so does Will Campbell. But if I believe that Mason Graham is going to get past the Jaguars at 5, Spytek has talked about at length that he is a Michigan man through and through.
Yep.
This guy is consensus a top 5 player in this draft. They could use another defensive tackle next to Christian Wilkins. You build up the lines. You make this a real force. Like, that defensive line all of a sudden looks like one of the best units in the NFL. And you're going against Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes in your division. So it makes a ton of sense. That's kind of where I'm leaning. I think Mason Graham at 6 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think I'm very much with you there. I have not bet that yet, but I am starting to lean very much away from the Genty to the Raiders. You brought up Kelvin Banks. Like, it's kind of growing on me for him to be the second O-line drafted. And I know it sounds insane, but I think that if there is a team that wants like a bona fide prototypical left tackle, I can see them going and taking Banks if they're in love with him.
I could see for sure. I think that 7 for me would be the first spot that I would take Banks, although it's possible that some of the other teams would like him. I've heard a lot about Membo to the Jets at 7. I could see Tyler Warren there. I could see Colson Loveland there. Sounds like they might be in on a defensive edge guy. I think this is a D-line pick. I think that Aaron Glenn wants to come in there and he
Mhm.
wants to build the lines like he saw in Detroit.
Yeah.
So from that aspect, I think it'll be an offensive lineman. Which one? Could be Banks. Could be the Missouri kid. I don't know. That's kind of the direction I'm leaning. But there was the report this morning that they like Jahdae Barron at number 7, which would be a shocker to everybody. So I haven't really made any bets on number 7 right now.
Yeah.
But if I had to lean, if I had to guess, if I'm making a mock draft, I would say an offensive lineman is probably pretty likely there.
Yeah. I think that like Kelvin Banks, it's worth maybe the sprinkle in the top 10 because I have heard him sneaking up boards. To me, I feel like the real realm of where he probably goes is more closer to where the 49ers are picking. He's a really nice fit for Miami, given that they just lost their left tackle, but I don't think that he's going to get to Miami.
I think that Banks, you're looking at 7 to the Jets, 10 to Chicago, 11 to the 49ers, and then 13 to Miami. Like that under 13.5 right now. I know it's gotten seamed down. I think he opened at 24.5. I missed that bet. I'm terrified that I missed that bet, but I think he's going to go before the 14th pick.
Yeah, I am with you there. Okay, Loveland, his line has moved, his draft position line. It was 19.5. It's now 17.5. I had the under 19.5, and I couldn't sit here and tell you that I don't hate still taking the under if you wanted to do it.
Yeah, I mean the Peter Schrager tweet that he sent out over the weekend that he's going to go much higher than mocks are currently putting him that's a red alert. Just depending on how you feel about Schrager and his draft reporting, the guy's locked in. So I took an 18.5 that I saw.
Yeah.
I hate being that reactive and chasing steam, but it seemed like it made sense to me. And then in terms of spots, like 10 to Chicago is certainly in play. I have him in my mock draft actually going ahead of Tyler Warren, which is a spicy different bet.
Okay.
I actually have him going 12 to the Dallas Cowboys because I have them missing out on Ted McMillan. I know that they have Ferguson there, but Loveland is a clear upgrade. I could see them going that direction. I'm not saying this is sort of a lock, and I haven't bet Dallas to take a tight end, but in terms of making the mock draft, kind of made sense to me. There's a lot of different spots there. Like San Francisco could use a ton of 12 personnel with Loveland. 12, 13 with Miami. Like he makes a ton of sense there. 14, obviously, with the Colts makes a ton of sense. Sounds like they're going to take a tight end here. So the under on his over-under seems to be to make sense. It just depends on how much juice you want to lay and how worried are you about the reports that he has medical red flags that teams are concerned about.
Yeah, I think that there's a really good chance that Warren and Loveland come off the board like right next to each other. Like I would not be surprised if that occurs. If you see that happen, Warren comes off and then someone goes and takes Loveland. Someone was asking about Tet. I tweeted about it today. I think the McMillan, all this drama around him slipping just feels theatrical. I just don't see that happening. Like I think that that's something that he's one of those guys. We're getting close to the draft and people are just talking, and I don't foresee that happening. I know Dallas is very interested in Golden. I think that Dallas probably takes a wide receiver if they're there. They're interesting. Like I wonder if they would look to trade down.
I could see it. So I'll run through the Dallas scenario really quickly.
Yeah.
Dame Brugler said on the Athletic Pod that Ted McMillan's not making it past 12 if he's there.
Yeah.
So I believe that they have Tet ranked higher than Golden. At least that's what my working assumption right now.
Right.
So I've bet first wide receiver, Ted McMillan, that market's starting to widen. I would get it in sooner rather than later. I have Golden going in the 20s in my latest mock draft. So I really like Tet there. I actually have Tet going 10th in a trade. I have Chicago trading up to 8 with Carolina to get Ashton Genty, and Tet going 10 to the Carolina Panthers, who clearly need, despite the fact that all they've talked about in the offseason is getting an edge. I think, you got to support Bryce Young. So I think that getting a guy like that in there makes a ton of sense. So I like Tet a bunch. And then, 12, the only other player that I could see really going in there that I've heard that they love is Gray Zabel, the offensive lineman from
right now.
So I don't know if that would be in a trade down or actually at 12. I think there would have to be a lot of players who were off the board before they would go Zabel. Maybe they would trade down to I don't know, maybe with the Falcons at 15 so they can get an edge rusher depending on how the board breaks. But Zabel's the guy I think if they're going to go O-line, that's who they're targeting.
Houston Texans, I gave this out, I believe, last week. Their first position drafted to be a wide receiver at plus 425. I know they need O-line, but things don't look very great over there with just Nico Collins. I don't think that Tank Dell is going to play. You don't have Stephon Diggs. I mean, it's plus 425. I think if they look at, best player available, if that's what's sitting on their board, I think there's still value there to have them taking a wide receiver as their first drafted position.
I would assume that CJ Stroud is making a call to get Emeka Egbuka in the building for them at 25. But, at the same time, there's going to be 2 Ohio State offensive linemen there available to the Texans, I think. Josh Simmons and Donovan Jackson. Everybody's talking about Donovan Jackson being this great leader, and it seems like Houston's valuing. I mean, they got rid of Laramie Tunsil, who's really talented still, because he wasn't great in the O-line room. So I think that they want to have some sort of cohesion, like this brotherly love sort of group in Houston, and they want to bring in these leaders. And if you're talking about leaders at offensive line, the guys that you're going to be targeting are going to be Donovan Jackson and Tyler Booker. So I still think they're taking O-line, but obviously the price is reflective of that. I don't hate the long shot on wide receiver. I think that would be the other position that they look at. I'm just not personally betting the market.
Yeah, that's totally fair. What else have you added like this week, I suppose?
A lot. All right, let me get all right, so the last couple of plays that I've made. Mike Green over 17.5 was a big one for me. The reason is I think that he's over 17.5.
What did you get it at? I got it at plus 110, and it's now minus 360.
Yeah, I bet it at minus 130. I didn't know it was minus 360 at this point.
Insane.
I think that there's a chance that he falls out of the first round at this point.
I 100% agree with you.
Someone at the end, someone might take a shot on him. Like realistic, someone might take a shot. He's that talented. But there's other guys on the board. There's a lot of good edge rushers in this draft. I'm not sure if anyone that high is going to take a risk on him. I told you about Ted McMillan, wide receiver 1. I would still bet that one right now. I think it's good up to minus 200 range. And you can conversely bet it the other way, especially on the exchanges. You can bet Matthew Golden not to be wide receiver 1. Look for those to pop up. Basically the same bet. You might get better odds on that at some point. Mason Graham over 5.5. We already talked about. Trevion Henderson, round 1. I bet that plus 120. I have a good feeling that he's going to be the second running back in this draft. He's going to be drafted higher than Amarian Hampton. I could see there is a scenario. I wouldn't bet this, but it's plus 1900 right now, where Trevion Henderson is taken number 10 by Chicago. I know that their running backs coach absolutely loved him. The pass protection is huge. You can play him on all 3 downs. The way you can utilize him out of the backfield as a pass catcher, I think it's interesting. Realistically, I think that he's got a good shot. Where do I have him in my mock draft? I have him at 20 to the Broncos. Sean Payton loves a running back that can be used out of the backfield as a pass catcher, and he will not put a running back on the field that can't do pass pro. And this guy's the best in the class at doing so. I think that he may be the pick over Hampton at 20. I can see him at 21 also. And then in terms of running backs, I bet Washington and Kansas City both just take a running back in the first round. Yeah. I like both of those as kind of long shots. I can see Washington doing it.
I bet Washington that was, I think I bet it Friday. It was 10-1. I saw MGM still has an 11-1. I did not see that there. It's down to like plus 650 some books. I really like that play there. They went all in during free agency. This is kind of a luxury pick, but I think it makes sense as well. They can afford it here. Eckler, I mean, he did what he needed to do. And then I think Brian Robinson Jr. is more of a committee guy. Like, I think that he fits, or it's a 2 RB field. I also bet for Washington to take a safety at plus 950. It's plus 360 some books. I think that it's probably a reach here, but going back, this is the pick I was talking about, thinking about coaches. Dan Quinn has always incorporated strong safeties into his defenses, and I think it would make sense here. I also don't like the play on cornerback either. I mean, look at their division. They're going to be playing against A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Malik Neighbors, C.B. Lamb, and whoever else they bring in there. It's a lot of guys you got to cover, and you guys have had a pretty stinky secondary for a long time. So I don't hate either of those. I probably will get there with the cornerback, but then it's like being a little ridiculous because I have 3 positions, so I got to pick and choose what I'm betting on. But I don't hate the plus 950 there at safety.
Safety makes a lot of sense for 2 reasons. One, they got rid of Jeremy Chin in free agency, so you need a replacement there. And then there's going to be 2 guys, Malachi Starks and Nick Emenwari, who are going to be in that range. So definitely don't hate that as a long shot flyer.
And Emenwari, I mean, he if you're into the highest relative athletic score, he was the highest safety over the last 38 years. This guy is going to, I think there's also some value on taking him to actually be the first safety taken. You can still get that at minus 110. I could see him going before Starks. I don't think that would shock me.
It wouldn't shock me either. I think that Miami at 13 could totally take him and worry.
Oh yeah, 100%. Before we get through some of these last bets, let me tell you guys about Edge Boost. Have you ever had your deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet ever needed cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but hit your ATM limit? Edge Boost has your back. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. Edge Boost gives you fast, reliable access to your funds, making it easier to move money when and where you need it without the delays that come with traditional banks. For you high rollers, you can move up to $250,000 a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. It gets better. Every time you deposit into a qualified gambling account, you earn cashback rewards up to 0.5%. Edge Boost is a debit account that makes it easy to get started with no credit checks, no minimum balance, and no usage fees. Simply verify your identity and you're ready to go. Finally, Edge Boost has a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. What are you waiting for? Go to www.edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs, plus props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Few things that I like on MyBookie right now is for the Pistons, since I'm a Knicks hater, to have a little bit of a bounce back here at +7 minus 110, and the Broncos' first position drafted to be a running back at +110. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SMALLS for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Okay, back to the draft. I did pretty well there. Am I going crazy? Probably yes. The answer is yes. There's something about the under 2.5 quarterbacks taken in the first round that is now calling my name. It is giving 2022. I don't give a fuck that they invited people. I don't care. They did it to Malik Willis. It's giving 2022. I also was listening to Schrager, same podcast. He has not heard that the Giants are high on Dart. That does not know where that report came from. That's not a thing that he has heard. I don't think teams are as high on Dart as the public and the average viewer is of college football. I could see it only being 2 quarterbacks. Is Dart one of them? I don't know. I don't hate the sprinkle of +200 on Milroe, maybe because I think the Giants are a little bit more into him than they are into these other guys potentially, but under 2.5 at +150 is very tempting.
I don't hate the idea of it. It's not a market that I'm personally investing in, but I could totally see it. I totally get where you're coming from on 2022. These guys falling into the top of the second round. My only question is, there is value in getting these guys on the 5-year contracts instead of the 4-year contracts. But no one has traded, I believe the stat is, no one has traded into the end of the first round for a quarterback since Lamar Jackson was taken in 2018. So it doesn't happen as often as you think that it would. So maybe we're overvaluing that. Maybe these guys do slip to Milroe at 33 and Jackson Dart at 40 to the Saints. I could see that for sure.
I'm sick of Adam. I'm sick of Shefty. I'm going to be honest. I'm so sick of him because I also heard on another report that they like Dart, but it's more that's why they're calling to come back up higher in the second round. Like they don't value any quarterback at their current first round pick.
I could totally see all of these quarterbacks just going off the board from 33 to 40, basically.
Or even 100%.
And I don't know that Pittsburgh's necessarily going to take one. Who knows what the Aaron Rodgers deal is inside the building? They started Mason Rudolph 2 years ago. They're clearly comfortable with him. I'm just not sure that there's another spot once you get past 9 where one of these quarterbacks is really going to come off, like it's a lock for them to come off. I don't know. The Rams at 26, maybe, but they have such a small window with Stafford. Are they really going to waste it on a first-round pick? I don't really see that. So, no, I don't hate the bet. Long way of saying that. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, I just can't. I don't know. I'm getting close. I'm not saying I'm betting it yet, but I think keeping an eye on actually trying to block out the noise that everyone is giving about these quarterbacks because it is totally giving a little bit of 2022. I think 2024 made everyone think that these guys are going to go much higher than they are. But it's very clear that like the consensus is that, the league does not value these guys. A GM came out, Striggs was saying that they don't even have any of these quarterbacks as a first round grade. So it'll be interesting to see. I think, what Aaron Rodgers does same year I don't know if it was the COVID year or the year before, but it's going to be like 1 hour before the draft starts. And he's going to be like, I'm going to be a Steeler. I promise you, get the receipts. That is what he's going to do. He's going to make draft day about him. I can almost guarantee it. Any last bets that you want to give out before I let you get out of here?
Yeah, let's give out 2 real quick. So we talked about the running backs, over 2.5 running backs in round 1. I like that one. I think that all 3 are going to go. And then let's throw out a long shot at the end. This is based on Albert Breer's reporting earlier. And I don't know if this is going to happen in the first round because I think there's a chance the Eagles trade out. But wide receiver first pick for the Eagles, plus 1,400. So 14-1 odds on them taking, I think it would be Egbuka if he's there at 32 or sometime top of round 2.
Yes, love it. All right, I will let you get out of here. Let people know where they can find you. I'm sure I'll be texting you to try to work through all this and talk me off the ledge when I'm going to bet more.
Yeah, at JasonGold24 on Twitter. Happy to answer all NFL draft questions before Thursday.
You're the best. Talk to you soon, Jason.
All right, see ya. Take care.
Yeah. Time for my bonus underdog pick'em. Underdog pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100x. Here's my pick'em entry for golf for the Zurich. You're welcome. I know I'm not doing golf, so I thought I'd give you a pick'em from underdog. Grazerman and Echeverria, finishing position better than 20.5. They're both in fantastic form. And they finished T4 last year. And then Thigala and Rai, finishing position better than 20.5. That gets you 3.12x your money. So sign up with Smalls to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SMALLS2Ls. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Rhythm is now live for MLB. Plus, they have models for NBA and golf. Pick so good it feels like cheating. Building your own bottle, not building your bottle. Building your own model is simple and easy. Here's something Rhythm likes. Timberwolves Moneyline plus 201. Rhythm has a 40.4% win. Oh my goodness. I was doing so good. Win probability on that. Rhythm has some amazing deals going on now. 25% off monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off annual subscriptions with promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. And now that is over, my fellow Giants fan, my good friend, has not been on the show in quite some time, Nicky the Good. How is it going? How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
How's it going?
It's great. I just gave my son a bath, so now no better segue to my life
amazing
than to talk a little bit of Giants football and anything else you want to get into.
Yeah, of course. Well, I have some like wrestling questions for you, but I don't want to talk about that first. I want to
That's
talk
fine.
about, did you see Russell Wilson? He's now our quarterback. You know that.
Yeah.
What is he trying to act like a Guido? Why does he look like that?
I saw your tweet. I think he knows that, when it comes to the lineage of the New York Giants, you think Italians, you think Tommy DeVito, and I think he just knows what success looks like. There's the blueprint. We've seen it. We've seen success, and that is something though. I mean, that haircut is straight out of like 2003.
The chain. It's the chain.
Yeah, that's and it's not, and like the
the cut
the
off
sleeves. Yeah, the cut off, like,
and the hair.
like you could tell, like his product is heavy in front. Like that's
He wants to say Gabagool so bad.
Yeah.
So
Even
bad.
his like, even he looks a little like. All right, just picture this with me. He looks a little like Stevie Van Zandt from Sopranos.
Yeah.
Like, just look at his face. Just everybody, just look at his face right now.
God, it's tough. I feel like I need you to rate his attempt at Guido on a scale of 1 to 10.
I mean, he definitely has it down though. He looks weird. He looks weird with that hair though.
Yeah, he does. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah, he could come. He could. I make him an honorary Goomba.
Oh wow! Look at you being so positive. What's your ideal situation for the New York Giants quarterback room next year?
What'd you say again?
What's your ideal situation for the New York Giants quarterback room next year? Because it's such a happy thing to talk about.
I want it to be what it is right now. I don't want to take a quarterback in this draft. I don't think there's any reason to take a quarterback in this draft. I think the Giants are in probably the worst spot they could possibly be, given that they have the 3 pick, because we're not just picking a player here. We're trying. 2 things are happening. The Giants are trying to make their team better by the draft. And secondly, there's 2 guys trying to keep their jobs. So it's not just like who's the best player for the Giants. It's how do we manipulate everything that's going on so that, like, if we take a quarterback here, say we shit the bed this year, we can say, hey, we need year 1 with our guy next year. And that gets them another down the road. So that's the one thing that has me uneasy going into this draft. I would like to roll with Russ and Jameis and see what the rest of the team can do with guys that are tried and true in the NFL. You know what you're going to get with them. So it really is truly about the other players on the team trying to level it up. And I hopefully in the draft, I think building the team's the way to go. I do not want to see a quarterback selected. I don't think we need
I feel very, very strongly, and I know like a lot of my friends are just trying to irritate me. Family's trying to irritate me. Everyone on Twitter is trying to, I feel very confident they're not taking quarterback at 3. And
yeah, go ahead.
No, if they don't take one with their second pick, I don't think you see them take one. So it's either they take it with with their second pick. Is that at the end of the first round? I don't know, whatever. But I don't think they take one if they do not take them with that second pick, and I don't think it's happening at 3.
No quarterback we take, even if we took Shador at 3, he's not starting this year. They signed Russ and they signed Jameis. He's not starting this year. So the Giants are going to be in the exact same spot next year, regardless of what they do this year. It doesn't matter. So, and the schedule is so hard next year that we're probably not going to win enough games, and we're probably going to end up with either we shit the complete bed and we end up where we are again, or we use draft capital to trade up and we actually do mortgage the future for a better prospect. Because if people are saying the same thing about Shador, that he would be graded in last year's draft like the 5th or 6th best QB, there's no reason to be taking this guy. Just take. And I don't know if we're gonna get into who I want, but like,
who do you want?
I want Carter. Like, I want to let's rev the engines and let's just
talk some people up. That's what I want to do.
Dude, I don't care about how. At least that's something to get excitive about. Like, you know that you're gonna mess up like the opposing, like the quarterback, and they're scheming for you. Like, have an identity. If you've heard a lot of the pundits say that, like the Giants need an identity. Well, I think we're the closest to having an identity with our defensive line out of any other. Yeah.
Have that be your identity. Have teams not be able to run all over you and take advantage of you like they've been doing for years and years. It might make it so that we're not losing games by thousands and thousands and thousands of points and we're getting off the field.
I'll take just be excited for and feel like there's a purpose of you watching this game on a Sunday for the New York Giants.
Yeah,
Like
I'm excited to just like can we get a couple touchdowns? That would be cool.
And I think we're going to get it with Russ. Like, we're going to get touchdowns. Like, the Giants' offense should be better than what it was last year. Like, it has to be. It has to be. So, yeah, I mean, as long as they don't take, I just don't want a quarterback take it. I don't know. Even a Jackson Dart. Like, why?
I don't like his face. Why?
You don't like his face? That works for me. I don't know the analytics.
I don't care. I don't like his face. I don't want him. Right? I will be so mad if we take him. I don't care.
I don't think the Giants don't. It's crazy to say, but the Giants have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. We don't need a quarterback. We need other players. We need
just keep making the roster better. That's all I want you to do. Have a draft like last year. Go in, get out. I don't really care otherwise.
Give me Carter. Give me the wide receiver out of Ohio State. Give me that dude. Like, let's roll. Like, let's get some things going. Get some playmakers.
Go get Scatterbo. Get a just mean white running back. I'm so down to pair with Tracy.
Give me it. He's got a vowel at the end of his name. He's probably not Italian, but we'll call it.
We can pretend he is. Everyone can be Italian on the Giants now. Look at Russell, how he's embracing the culture.
That's it. Russell gets it. He at this point he's just one big marketing campaign. He doesn't care about football anymore. No. You're not coming to the Giants if you're caring about football. Like, that's why no one else came here. He's coming here because he knows he gets his wife. They're under the big lights and they can
to go to Knicks games.
That's it. Sit front row, whole thing.
Yeah. You're a Knicks fan, right?
I'm a Knicks fan. Yeah.
I think they're gonna lose tonight, maybe.
To go 2 in a row, I think is tough in this series. I think it's gonna be,
I agree with that.
It's gonna be a dogfight. We're the better team, but it's gonna be
100%. How are the Mets doing?
Mets are in first place. Rocking.
Are they? I pay no attention, so fuck would I know.
Mets are in first place. Like, if you follow me on Twitter, that's my thing. Like, the Mets are peak for me, and the Mets are doing good. They're in first place right now. They got a huge series against the Phillies coming up.
Are they going to come out of it on top?
I hope so. I have the Phillies are in second place, so they're right up on our ass.
Give me someone to bet on a home run for the Mets.
I mean, I would bet Juan Soto. I would legitimately bet Juan Soto.
Amazing.
I would say a long bet. Just put like maybe Brandon Nimmo. Like, if you wanted to bet.
I like that guy. He has won me money before.
Yeah.
Did you see Brandon Jacobs' virginity tweet?
I didn't, but I saw you put that in like the what's going to happen.
Ryan, can we bring that up? Okay. He tweeted this also. I'm going to preface this with everyone tags me wanting a response as if like I'm in charge of Brandon Jacobs. Whatever. He tweeted this at 1:20 in the morning, and I think it was like a Wednesday or a Tuesday. Y'all want to know something that bothers me? I am 42 years old, and I regret losing my virginity to the person I lost it to. It means nothing, but I wish it was another person other than her.
Sounds like, I don't know what that sounds like.
It sounds like he was hitting the whiskey, maybe.
I mean, that's one of those thoughts that those are thoughts that only come about because like you're using some extracurriculars at some point.
Right.
Because those are things that like you have to actually think about that to formulate that tweet, because the tweet really doesn't make sense because it's like, first of all, who gives a shit?
Yeah, like also at 42, why are you like, let's just assume he lost his virginity, probably like anywhere from like 16 to like 22, right? You're 42 years old. Why do you care?
Well, the thing is, you have to be, something must have triggered that. So like what triggered that in particular thought process?
I need to know.
I don't know. Dude's been running people over for a long ass time. Don't forget about that. He's taking some blows too.
Yeah.
So
apparently
142 just slinging it out there on the Twitter webs.
Oh my God. I can't. These guys, a lot of our former players are a little kooky online.
They are. A Big Blue in particular, you talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some characters. We have some characters.
We got some characters. They keep it interesting. What happened in the wrestling world yesterday? Because I don't speak that language. You speak that language. You do a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania. It's our Super Bowl. Professional wrestling's our Super Bowl. It's a 2-night affair now, so it's no longer just
fun.
one night. So it's Saturday and Sunday for WrestleMania. They were in Las Vegas. First time they were there since WrestleMania 9. So that's the longest. This was 41. And basically, like, I'll just try and put it in like giant terms, right? So think about Eli Manning, like 2 months ago, becoming the biggest piece of shit you've ever known.
What?
Because John Cena turned heel in the wrestling community. So John Cena is the prototype babyface good guy for the kids, Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like, for 20 years, never went to the dark side. And then he just dropped it on us right before he retired. So imagine Eli Manning's on his retirement tour, right, back in the day. And when Geno Smith comes in and takes his spot for that, gets the start, he just says, "Fuck the fans, fuck all of you.
This is so dark.
I'm done with Giant Nation." He says that. That's what happened, and that's what led us into last night, WrestleMania. So it was a big night.
Did he win?
He won. He won his 17th time.
How do you win?
Well, I mean, how long's your show? So it's obviously it's scripted. So it's a storyline. Just think about it's Macbeth. Cool. It's soap opera for men. So it's a storyline. Travis Scott came out and distracted Cody Rhodes, who's the WWE champion, and John Cena and all of his, he took all of his negative energy and he beat Cody Rhodes dastardly. The ending did suck. I'm looking at the chat right now. It left a lot of people disappointed, but he won the 17-time world champion. That's breaking Ric Flair's record. That's
cool. So they made him like the hero again.
No, he's hated now still.
Okay. I don't know.
So he's a bad guy.
We hate him. Okay. So who is the John Cena, make some of these WWE, do I call them characters or players?
Superstars.
Okay, WWE superstars as quarterbacks. Who would be the Mahomes?
Who would be Pat Mahomes? That'd be Roman Reigns.
I've heard him before. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson would be probably, that's a good one. I'd probably say he's like a Seth Rollins, maybe. Okay.
This is like a foreign. I need to get into WWE apparently. Who would be the Tommy DeVito?
Oh God, Tommy. There were guys with like Italian gimmicks. There's one guy, Little Guido. That'd probably be him. He sucked. Like he lost a lot. Wasn't very good, but he was over with the fans. So I'll say Little Guido.
See that? I see where that.
Little Nunzio was another one. Santino was another Italian. Paul Roma.
Okay.
So I'm just listing Italians that were wrestling.
That's okay. I love it. What about Kirk Cousins? Who would he be?
Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that would probably be, let's see. Kirk Cousins like Sami Zayn. Underdog. Okay. Like he's an underdog, but he's widely respected.
He's likable.
He can play. He's likable. People get behind him. He's kind of gimmicky, but he always ends up losing and taking it on the chin at some point for the betterment of the business.
Okay. Back to the Giants, and then I'll let you get out of here. Do you want Russell starting the whole year, or would you be okay with Jameis?
I don't. Yeah, I'm more than okay with Jameis. In fact, I was ecstatic when we got Jameis. I wanted Jameis to start because, in my mind, we're still going to end up in the same spot. The Giants will be in the same spot at the end of the season. So if Jameis starts, great. We're going to get a lot of touchdowns, a lot of interceptions, and phenomenal entertainment, quotes, memes. And the Giants season will be a ton of fun. I wanted Jameis Winston to be the starter, make us a gimmick for the year. Who cares?
I want to have fun.
Just have fun on Sunday. You're going to get the Jameis Winston promo. You're gonna get him given the pregame praying, the W's, all of that, and it gives me a reason to tune in to Giants football. With Russ, now it's a different ballgame. Now I'm gonna be looking at more of how does the rest of the team perform? Yeah, it's not a sideshow to me. It's okay, we need to take steps in the right direction, but I don't really care about the quarterback play. I don't care about Russell Wilson. All I care about is do you get Malik Neighbors the ball?
Yes.
And does he look great with the ball? if we draft like the kid from Ohio State in the second round, right?
Mhm.
Does he look great when he gets the ball? Are we building the running back class? How's the offensive line? Are we getting protection? Like,
That's a whole nother
those
story.
are the only things I care about if Russell Wilson's the starter. And I'm not really rooting to lose this year, though. Like, this is the first year I'm really not going to root for the Giants to lose every single game, because I think no matter what, coming into 2026, the Giants will mortgage the future if there's the correct prospect there. And to me, that's all that this is all about.
100%.
The Giants should do nothing until they can say that's the actual guy worth investing in, because we just did it with the worst guy possibly imaginable, and we haven't said his name. We did that with Daniel Jones.
He said
We
it.
can't do it again. We can't.
Yeah, I think that there should be like full conviction, like, you know, that's your guy. Like, the fact that they had to go back out to see Sanders, to me, is like, one, either just a massive smokescreen, or it just tells me like, you guys are unsure. He's not your guy, period. It's done. Like,
It's the same thing with like, I'm married, right? It's the same thing with like, you find someone, it's like, if you got to convince yourself over and over again that I could tolerate this person until I'm 6 feet under in the grave, don't marry that person.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. It's a bad idea to do that. That's the way I look at it. Like, if you got to constantly go to Colorado to find something that actually, makes like, some type of sense here, that I can make it work when it's that big of a commitment, marriage, the rest of your life, money.
Because if not, you're getting a divorce.
If not, that's it. And then you end up looking at Shedeur Sanders as the number 3 overall pick, when the guy potentially is probably going to be, mid to late first rounder. Like, go to the Saints. Let him be a fucking Saint. I don't just give me Abdul Carter, move forward,
be done,
figure it out. And like, the one question I'll have is like, what is it going to take to bring those two guys back this year? That's it.
Yeah. I think really, like, you nailed all of them. Like, I want to see the defense look better. I want that to be our identity. I want to keep the young stars happy, get Neighbors the ball, keep him as happy as possible, let him continue to develop. And I'd like to see Andrew Thomas stay healthy. Those are about all I expect out of the season. I don't really care for much more. I want to see them establish the run, but like, I don't need them to win every game.
Win a few games with just the defense.
Just have fun. Yeah.
Just maul the quarterback, have 2 pick sixes, and be like, you know what? Now we actually just need a quarterback. And when you can finally say that, then it's like, holy shit, we may be able to compete in this monster division that we're in with these 2 killers. With the Commanders and not the Cowboys, they're a joke, and the Eagles. Like, what are we doing?
I'm a little worried about.
What?
And I'm putting this out into the universe, and it's whatever. If like Manning is like the kid that they like, and that's the conspiracy theory comes true, and it's full circle. My concern is we're gonna really need the Saints to actually reach and take a guy here, because the problem is, who the Saints are gonna want also next year? They're also going to want a Manning. You want to know the last time they took a quarterback in the first round? It was like 54 years ago, and it was a Manning. So my concern is they got to take one.
Right. The other thing I'm rooting for is I want all of these teams, like you just said, to take all of these quarterbacks. Like,
do it. Have fun.
Reach for Jackson. Reach for Dart.
Please.
Reach for
Steelers. So you've done it before.
Mortgage your dumb future for these guys so that we don't have to. That's all I want. Take your dumb brains and go get those guys. Do what we did when we went to go get Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Do that.
Do it.
And so you can get off the board. So next year, if we are just, say we have the 7th pick, we can mortgage the future for the 1 or even the year after that, whatever. Yeah. That's what I think the Giants do. I'm in no rush to win because we're not gonna win.
Yeah, it's true. You're
we're not winning shit.
No. And people that don't know, like, go look up the Giants schedule. Yeah. It is the biggest joke. It is the worst I've seen in,
we may start off 0-5, and then everyone's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we? And then we fire the coaches, and then I'm like, what'd you think was gonna happen, man? Like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, these teams are, it's not just that we don't have the quarterback of the future. These teams are playing on the schedule. They're better than us. They're probably going to beat us. we're not gonna win the games. So we're gonna lose. We're gonna 0-5, and me and you are gonna be sitting here, and we'll be like, "What are we doing?"
In my stupid Giants shirt, stupid Giants hat, stupid Giants jacket, doing the same shit. But at least I'm gonna get some laughs from Russell Wilson. Let people know where they can find you. I'll let you get out of here.
Find me at Nicky the Good. That's where I'm at everywhere. Primarily. What's that? Yeah, TikTok. I'm ripping over there, guys. Like I'm ripping.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to go down nostalgia road with me and you want to talk nostalgia, you find me over there. And then for everything else sports related, I'm on Twitter, on X at Nicky the Good. Those are the two places that I'm spending most of my time nowadays.
Love it. We'll have to get you on again very soon. If you are listening, rate and review. We're still doing that $100 gift card giveaway. If you send me a screenshot that you did that, like this episode, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the last episode before the NFL draft.
Bye, Steph. Good luck.
Yeah.